We are going live. This is Ann Sieg, creator and founder of the E-Commerce Business School. And I always fire up just a couple minutes early to make sure all the electrons are working and also to give people time to log in. So we're just kicking it off a couple minutes early, and I'm going to be watching here on my browser to make sure that we are live, which I believe we are. And my question for you folks as you roll in, well, there's going to be a couple actually, but let me know where you're calling in from or logging in from. You might be on your cell phone off shopping, scanning like a lot of our members do. But hey there, hello Greg in the house, welcome. Anybody else, just go ahead and write in where you happen to be calling from, what you're doing. We try to host these at the noon time so we can catch people during their lunch break. Although this is broadcasted Central Standard Time. So for some of you, this is still mid-morning if you're over on the Pacific Coast. But we're gonna start right at the top of the hour talking about a topic that is not only vital for business, but it is vital for life. And without it, it can bring a lot of people to ruin. Yeah, I'm speaking rather directly and candidly, to ruin if they don't have a mentor. So we're going to talk about, what actually gives someone that title, that name of being a mentor. What does it mean to mentor someone? Okay, Greg is saying, well, hey there, lots of people coming in. Okay, good. Greg, you're doing packing and shipping. Hello, Linda. And hello, Karen, coming in from Washington. All right, well, it is 12 o'clock, so we're going to get going. And again, this is Ann Sieg. Greetings, welcome to the Voice of E-Commerce, which is the broadcasting arm of the E-Commerce Business School. And our goal is to display to the public that we are real people who have a go-giving community that supports and empowers each other. So I'm thrilled to have you here. And let's take your business to the next level with this edition of the Voice of E-Commerce. All right, I'm going to have you guys engage with me because I don't want to just preach and teach on this all important topic. I want to get you engaged with me, and it's going to be talking about mentorship. So how many of you have had a mentor in your life? I'm not just saying business, I mean in your life. Have you had a mentor? Answer yes or no. Have you had a mentor? Let's see if anyone, hey there, hi Christy. Calling in from beautiful Traverse City, Michigan. Sally from North Carolina. All right, so let me know, have you had a mentor in your life? Yes or no, have you had a mentor? Not yet. Christy says me, I've had lots. Someone else says no. Kathleen says yes. Okay, I'm gonna guess you all have had a mentor. You just probably didn't realize you had a mentor. And I think of a mentor as someone who keeps you on the straight and narrow. In life, there is a straight and narrow. Because when I think of a mentor, they're going to help me avoid foolish mistakes, glitches along the way. And when I say foolish mistakes, that by virtue of using the word foolish is a connotation towards character development. So for me, a mentor is much more than nuts and bolts, how to, much, much more than that. A mentor serves as a guide in your life. And in this case, we're talking your business. And it has to do with things like of character and how do I deal with this situation? A lot of life has to do with how we deal with people. And if we're in business, we're dealing with people. Even if you say, but I've got a really hands-off business and I'm just scanning and shipping. No, you're in stores, you're interacting with people, whether that be the store owner, the personnel that are assisting on behalf of the store, all these things. We're interacting with people, and isn't it just funny with life how we end up in people dynamics, right? People dynamics. So I'm going to guess all of you at some time in your life, you ran into a problem, and maybe even like a people problem, and you went and you talked to somebody to get help. That's a mentor. Now, the fuller scope of a mentor is they're working with you regularly. Now, it can be just a one time, but someone who mentors you has the connotation of motion. It's ongoing. It's not just a one-off help. Or when you think of a guide and mentor are very similar, right? But it's ongoing. They mentor you. They pull you aside. You have a little talk about how to, again, stay on that straight and narrow so that you don't fall off and have a mishap. Oh man, life is filled with so many pitfalls where one wrong decision can just send you off in a really bad direction. Now, if you're a parent, how many of you are parents? Okay, so Roderick is answering. He's had different mentors. I've had mentors my whole life. My parents were my mentors. And the words they taught me echo with me into my future. You know, I remember things that my dad said that had to do with his philosophy of life. And so when I think of a mentor, it's a really important role, right? Because now we're going to shift into the business side of things. So we got life mentors and the business side of things. But would it not make sense to have a business mentor that aligns with your values, your value system? Because what if your business mentor had to give you some kind of advice and maybe there was some legal stuff in there and it's bad advice, or maybe it's even broaching, I'm lacking the term here, but something that would not be good, okay? Something that could put you in harm's way. So do you think we can all agree that a mentor has to have an element of, here we go, here's the word, an element of wisdom? Okay, so a mentor, you say in business, I want someone who's super smart. And we all do. They've traveled the road ahead of us. And I want to go there. That, you know, I want to be a multi-million-dollar seller in e-commerce. I'm going to go there with this person. But the character part does need to line up in that formula, because I assure you, there's so many decisions in business that just are a test of your character. I'm going to get kind of a little bit raw now. How people present themselves, even on our group page, is a manifestation of their character, right? Everyone agree with me? Sometimes there's little brawls that can happen. We hardly ever have those on our group page, but you see it on Facebook, right? Little brawls, people like to fight and spar. That's not going to be productive for business, right? So I want to follow someone who likes to get into sparring and kind of those weird things that are a lot of human drama. Do I want to follow that person? Right? So how they conduct themselves says a lot, whether that be publicly on Facebook, it's recorded forever, right? We have to be careful what we say and do, right? And then in private, okay? So when I think of a mentor and in business, it's more than just like business know-how. That's important. But that character part, oh man, if that's not there, you can have a really smart person who's really, I'm going to say it, really, really evil. Did you know that can happen? Really smart people who are really, really evil, meaning they do really bad things to people and they don't care about people. They just care about themselves and, you know, the almighty dollar, as people say, and all that. So this need to have, and this causes you then to perhaps reflect on what actually is your value system. I think a lot of people do go through life without bringing full clarity to that. It's kind of there, in a shadowy sort of ethereal way, but have they written it down? Like, here's who I am. Here's what I stand for. And it's immutable, meaning the circumstances may come and go, but my values, they don't budge. Are you guys tracking with me on that? Okay. Okay, I'm just reading some of the comments. We're getting a lot of interaction here, which is great. Christy says, yes, I always tell my son to use his big brain for good and not evil. Beautiful example. So Christy has a really talented son working on, I can't remember if it was AI or not, but AI is a great topic on that level. There are strong business leaders who are advising, really blowing the trumpet, beware on AI. In the wrong hands, it could really harm mankind. So really smart people doesn't mean they're good people. Okay, so how does this all then fit into your business? Well, yes, you want to lead to success and you want people with the results that you're looking for. They will by default be modeling certain behaviors when you watch and observe them that you might adapt into, that you go, man, what have I done? This is so out of character for me. This isn't me. So it really is important that you gain clarity on your value system and you're aligning yourself with people who have those same values, because not everybody does, okay? I'll give you an example of that. When I raised my boys, I said, you are here on the planet for a purpose, and always that purpose will manifest itself in the service to other people. So however that comes to fruition, I've worked with all three of my boys, but that's what I told them. You're here for a purpose. Find it, okay? And it will always be in the service of other people. I truly believe that that is how we are wired. Our highest level of fulfillment is doing the doing of good to others. Having all the arrows self-directed is an extremely shallow and empty life. It's like a nothingness, right? Just a void. But that joy and fulfillment of serving others, and that's what you get to do through your e-commerce business, especially for those who are having their own e-commerce brand. I think of Christy here again. She has her own website, very devoted as a family towards green space. So that is where they are gaining purpose and fulfillment as a family unit through their e-commerce business. Nothing can stop Christy with that in mind, okay? All right, so I'm gonna break it down just a little bit more, moving it out of that and into something a little more tangible. And I've kind of gone long on that, but I've had a lot of mentors. I had a copywriting mentor I paid a very, very large sum of money to. It was $30,000. It was for a full year of mentorship. I learned a ton about copywriting, but he imparted so much about business principles and life principles as I would run into one unique business problem after another. How do I deal with this now? And then he would give me a little teaching, right? He would help put context into it. There was no training manual that you could find that, let me flip open this training manual. I ran into this business problem. It was with a former partner I had, okay? And how do I deal with that? It wasn't in a training manual. I could only get help through a mentor who could advise and guide and counsel me through that. That's kind of like the real meat of business, is that essence, that guiding, that mentorship, that the purpose, the direction. And if you ever feel like in your spirit, you're like, this isn't lining up with who I am. When someone is giving you advice, like you're just not feeling right about it, you need to listen to that. That's called your limbic brain. And it's speaking you and saying, like run, okay? Because you don't want to be pulled into something that really goes against your core beliefs. And they're there, whether you have actualized them, written them down or not. Alrighty, gosh, should I sneak this in? I guess I'm going to, guys, so hang with me. I actually put together a little PowerPoint thingy. Okay, so let's just get to that from current slide. Hang with me, I have to do some things. I guess we're gonna go over just a tad. Shoot, what can I say? And I'm prone to that. Okay, so this is a whole another teaching unto itself. So the learning process, a lot of times we think of learning as in facts. Like, oh, I'm gonna evaluate a product and I hope I don't blow it. You know, you're learning a factual kind of process. It's data-driven. By and large, that's what we teach, to be data-driven. This is the soft learning skill sets. The soft skills, when I refer to the learning process, it's your character development, it's your life focus model, etc. Anyway, so the learning process, I put this together and I made one little adjustment to it, but it all begins with preparation and your mindset. Now, your mindset may not be the most fertile ground in the world. It may be very dry and parched. And that has mostly to do with faulty programming. Messages that you've heard all your life. Oh, I'm so stupid. Man, am I ever dumb? You know, things like that. You've been programmed in a bad way. Or check this one out. Man, you know, everything online is a scam. Okay, that's a faulty, screwed up mindset. Loads of people out there, they're not thinking, they just buy into a very trite statement that I don't know that they could even articulate what it even means. They just couch it in this very blanketed statement that means nothing. Everything's a scam, they'll say. And oh, excuse me, but could you help explain that? They probably couldn't, because then they haven't learned to think. They just put it in a bucket that means practically nothing. They have a dry and parched and faulty mindset. What are you going to do about that? You have to work on that. And hopefully you have a mentor to help kind of get that cleaned up. And by the way, a mentor can be from a book. It doesn't have to be a live conversation. Robert Kiyosaki, I consider to be one of my mentors. I've never met him. He's still one of my mentors, okay? So anyways, that bar none is the biggest challenge for people to become successful in life and business. Faulty mindset. Now they're probably extremely unaware. They have no self-coaching going on. They lack awareness of the bad programming that they have, okay? It's a big, big problem out there. Now, but what people do is they charge right into inputting without any work on their mindset, okay? And inputting is just data. Like you going through the back office of our training, you're getting a lot of data in your brain. That's just scratching the surface, ladies and gentlemen, because the next step is the processing of that information. And quite frankly, some people have very little processing faculties. They don't know how to take information and grapple with it and mold it and make it their own. Does that make sense? And then it just is what it is, okay? And these things need work for them and development. A mentor can help with these, all three of those steps. But that processing, why is it some people get it and other people don't? Okay, it has to do with their ability to process the information. It's a whole nother teaching. Next comes the applying of the information. So you go through Shop Your Way to Wealth, or book flipping, or wholesale sourcing, or POD, print on demand, whatever. And now you're going to apply. Now remember, if you have a faulty mindset, you notice I'm kind of mentoring you guys right now, but let's just think about it. You're learning a more advanced model right now. Let's just say theoretically, some of you already are. You're going through print on demand, let's just say, right? And you're applying. Now, what a lot of people do when they hit the roadblock, their faulty mind says, I knew it. I knew it. Yep, I knew this wasn't going to work. And they find some reason to bail out. they're actually really hoping it shows up, because then it gives them an excuse to do what? To quit. Because quitting is easy. Oh man, that's so easy. Look at the gym memberships. They just quit. That's the easy bailout. Instead of being intrigued, getting a little bit fascinated. Why? Why am I stuck? Okay, and it all comes down again to that mindset. If they have a faulty mindset right from the get-go, I got to tell you, in business, if you're not intrigued when you hit those roadblocks, you're going to die on the vine, and you'll find a convenient excuse. Well, so-and-so said it was a scam. Or, my mom told me to be aware of these kind of things. They'll find some reason to bail. And more often than not, get this, it's somebody else's fault. That's when you know you're done. That's when you know you have hit the biggest roadblock of all, is when it's you and you say, oh, but it's so-and-so's fault. In other words, they shirk responsibility. And we know our culture has some really big issues with this today. And it is kind of part of the death process then. As soon as someone shifts into blame mode or shirking responsibility, they are dying to their growth. But you may as well just tap the nails in the coffin and say, I guess you're wrapping it up, bud, because they've shifted the blame onto somebody else. Okay? And in business, it doesn't matter who you're working with, what program that at the end of the day, you are always the CEO of your own business, and you are always, always responsible for your decisions. Do you guys hear me loud and clear on that? Always, always, without exception. Even if you pay some mega expert, $100,000, and for some reason it gets failed. And granted, sometimes you get bamboozled and that kind of stuff. That does happen. All right, I'm going too long. Kind of having fun with this teaching. And the last part is check and adjust. That's again where a mentor can come in place who has a bigger perspective on the problem you're dealing with. We just saw this happen at the e-commerce funnel mastery up in Minnesota. Saturday night was all hot seat exercises. One after another, boom, boom, boom. We must have gone through 10, 15 of them. And all the members were given an option relative to getting the advice from an expert to check and adjust, to make an adjustment. And one gal, Candida, she did it right then and there. She is working on her ad, and she changed the background picture, and boom, she got 10 sales as a result. So this is just big picture view and where a mentor can come in at any one of these levels. But it really speaks to, in business, we have to be the grown-up in the room. We're the grown-up. And sometimes a grown-up says, I need help. I need a mentor. And I'm going to tell you this, I plan to be in business for quite a long time to come. And I will always, always have a mentor. In fact, a lot of times, multiple mentors. Okay, pardon me guys for going so long there, but let me just see if there's any comments that I can catch right now. Oh, that doesn't show up so well. Let me look on the other screen. Can I get to it? There we go. Okay, so does this make sense, guys? Okay, Greg, thank you. Mindset is a lifetime. It is. It'll never end because there's a dual nature going on. There's a dual nature, and we have to be aware of that dual nature and fight the good fight. Don't lay down that sword. You fight the good fight because it's so worth it. Okay. All righty. Well, so appreciate the value of a mentor, seek a mentor, clarify on your value system as well. Don't be clueless about it. Get clear on your values. Almost any action, any statement someone says, there's values are imparted. Okay, so be keenly aware of that because you project them all the time. All right, guys, thank you. Write in any additional comments if you like. I was going to share with you real quick. Okay, that's my mentor from when I first came online, Coach Kurt. That's from 2006 or 7. And he's been with me all these many, many, many years. Yep, it's been 14 years. 14 years of knowing Coach Kurt. And then we have 4 different mentorship level programs, Hustle, 30-Day Side Hustle, E-Commerce Acceleration, the E-Commerce Masters Program, and E-Commerce Enterprise. So, all right, that's it for today. Thanks, everybody. God bless. Have a wonderful day.